Sometimes we take this blessing that we have for granted. It is a blessing to be able to go and compete. And, it was nearly cut short for Peyton.
It's hard to describe. It turned out so great for me that when I do tell the story back, it always seems like I'm talking about somebody else.
That is a tech fall. He remains undefeated, 23-0.
I had an undefeated regular season last year. Going into the 2023 national tournament, I was the 3 seed and looking to win that national title. I had won my first 3 matches on my way to the semi, but I feel like a bruise on my leg. It's not that big, a little bigger than a quarter probably. And so I was just like, maybe I just got kicked. It's a national tournament, you're gonna get beat up. The next morning, the welt had grown pretty big by that point.
He's thinking to himself, this is my last day of competition. I'll gut my way through it, and I've got the whole off season to feel better.
It just came time to the match and I didn't feel any better.
But in the middle of the match, I knew something wasn't right.
Brandon gets the takedown.
There was a bucket there, and so he could discharge because he was sick as a dog. He couldn't hardly walk off the mat.
When he came back that evening, his leg was much, much worse. It turned from a goose egg to the lower part of his knee all the way down to his foot. His body was essentially rejecting the antibiotics that we were trying to put into him. I went and visited him like about a week into the being at the hospital, and at this point, they still were just like, oh, he'll be okay. It was like a day and a half later that they were like, hey, we need to operate. He had complications with his kidneys, complications with his heart.
The orthopedic surgeon came in and he was like, this is not good. And he saw, and he had seen before, is necrotizing fasciitis, which is flesh-eating bacteria. With necrotizing fasciitis, 1 in 5 people die from it.
They don't know how much they're gonna have to take out of his leg. They don't know if they're gonna have to take his leg. And so that was kind of like the moment that it was like, oh man.
After the first surgery, they said I woke up and just looked at my toes and wiggled them. Make sure that they were still there and I was good to go. I'd had a bunch of surgeries because they just kept going in to make sure they cut everything out, clean it out, all that.
I was thinking more what's best for Peyton, and if he wanted to still wrestle, I didn't know if he could wrestle. I think that carrot for him to be able to wrestle again and reach his goal to be a national champion helped him work hard in rehab and just gave him hope.
I know I talked to the coaches a lot, and they were like, he might take a red shirt. He got out of the hospital and it had been a week of him, working out, and he was like, I'm wrestling this year. This is his most dedicated off-season he's had.
Mentally, he has a different edge about himself. He has a different appreciation for the sport. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be a better version of myself.
It's gonna be a lot of reminders that, man, not too long ago, we were just hoping that he was gonna make it.
Peyton Robb coming out with a lot of love.
The people that supported me, that being the story is amazing. The only thing that I can do to give back to them is go out there and get back on the mat.
By all indications, he's back and better than ever.
It's hard for me to look back on the negative now that I've turned out so much better.